Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the Baseball Replay Journal, where we have another 1908 game for you. Now it's the Chicago Cubs, who come in with a 1-0 record at the Cincinnati Reds. And we'll just go ahead and get this one started for you. That's hopefully you can see the play result there. I know there's a little bit of glare coming in from the window, which is right in front of me. Johnny Evers hits a ground ball over to shortstop where it's booted by Holswit and gets the base hit for the first hit of the game. And you know we're going to be hitting running this early. Yeah, apologies for sort of the glare that's coming in here. It's not exactly the most opportune setup here for this camera, and no matter what I do, there's a little bit of glare there I can see at the top of those dice, so we'll do the best that we can with you. Rolls a 62, and there's a little hit and run ground ball to second base, get out of the double play. And just like that, there's a runner at second base with one out for Frank Chance here in the first inning. And Chance's little foul ball over to third base, and that's 2 away. And that brings up Johnny Clean, hits a fly ball to right field, nothing doing. And up come the Reds. Orville Overall is the pitcher for the Cubs today. He faces Hans Lobert, who promptly whacks the ball to deep left center field for a quick triple. And here comes Miller Huggins, and they're going to bunt. They're going to bunt and try to get ahead here. And interestingly enough, the bunt is missed, and Lobert steals home, running home on the suicide squeeze. And that's the beginning of the game. 1-0 Reds, just like that. And you would have thought that the Cubs would wind up looking like the better of the teams in the early going. And instead, it's 1-0 Reds. 2 straight strikeouts now by Overall, who's taking out his revenge. Pasker, though, gets on a little fly ball to Schecker that he loses there in the sun, and it winds up being an error. Single now to right field this time to Schulte, and runners end up moving up on the throw. Pasker to third, and Kane, the batter, goes to second. And that brings up Mike Mitchell. Mike Mitchell up here now with 2 outs and 2 men on, and the Reds are trying to rally. He hits a little fly ball to right field, and that does it. And up comes the top of the second inning. Jimmy Scheckert up first, and he walks quickly. And Harry Steinfeld up next. They're going to bunt with Harry. Harry gets the bunt down to the pitcher, moves Scheckert up to second base, and with 1 away, here comes Schultz. Hits a little fly ball to left field, and the runner holds, and here comes Jimmy Slagle. And that's, we'll see what happens with this error. Yeah, it's going to be a little pop foul to the third baseman, nothing doing. Bottom of the second inning, just like that. Holsway gets a single to right field, and that brings up Admiral Schley, who will also bunt. I hope you like bunting because there's going to be a lot of bunting here. And the Cubs manage to make the play at second base. Overall, fielding his position well, throws to the shortstop, Tinker, get the play at second instead of settling for that out at first base. 1 away now. Ewing now the batter. You know what we're doing. And Ewing pops that bunt up again to Overall, who grabs it and then throws to first to complete the double play. Poor play there by the Reds in that half inning. And Overall, the first batter up next promptly takes a walk. He's slow, so we'll see what happens with him. Johnny Evers strikes out, which is not ideal. And Joe Tinker is going to hit into, I was going to say a double play, but no, it's just runner out of second base for the fielder's choice. And here comes Frank Chance. And Joe Tinker is injured on this play as he's out at second base. Now, it says Tinker injured for 2 games. We're not going to take him out for 2 games, though. What we're going to do is we're going to take him out just for this individual game because we do have lineups and transactions on. But, you know, we do like kind of screwing around with stuff. Heine Zimmerman's going to come in, and he's going to be the new shortstop for the Cubs for the rest of this game. And we'll see where it goes from there. Hans Lobert now is the batter. 1-0 Reds. Hits a fly ball to right field, and that's the first out. Can you even see that there? So this was a 5. It's 25, little ground out to shortstop, and that's 2. And there's another ground out to shortstop, and that does that for the Reds. Top of the 4th, Johnny Clean coming up. And Clean gets a ball. There's a ground ball to third base where Lobert fields it and throws him out at first. 1 away. Next batter up, Jimmy Scheckert hits a little tapper to Ewing, the pitcher, and that's the second out. And now Harry Steinfeld comes up, and Steinfeld's going to hit a little ground ball to short, and that does that. 1-0 Reds going to the bottom of the 4th inning. And Pasker gets a little ground ball to first base, one away. I will adjust this. Hopefully you can see it fine. John Kane now, next batter up, and he walks, and that brings up Mike Mitchell. And this once again is another opportunity to bunt. And the bunt is down, and it's good. The play goes first baseman to second baseman at first base, and 2 outs now for Hulswood. And Hulswood's going to get into one here. And that is going to be a triple for Hulswood. Scores the second run of the ball game. Cubs not even have a hit yet. Reds are up 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. And that brings up Admiral Schley, who has a little ground ball to third base, and that does that. Schultz to start up for the Cubs here, top of the fifth inning. He grounds out to shortstop, one away. Jimmy Slagle gets another ground ball to shortstop. Boy, I tell you, there's been a lot of plays there to Hulswood at short. Overall's up here, and he gets the first base hit of the ball game, trying to show the other guys how it's done. And this is back in the days when pitchers weren't just, the pitcher in the order. You had some pitchers who were good hitters. Evers strikes out once again, though, and that ends that rally. And up comes Bob Ewing here, the bottom of the fifth inning, and he strikes out promptly. Hans Lobert now, the next batter up. Little ground ball to shortstop, the second out. And up comes Miller Huggins, and Huggins is going to hit a fly ball to left field, nothing doing. And just like that, we're back to Heine Zimmerman, top of the second inning. This game is moving along very, very quickly. He hits a little fly ball to left field for the first out. Next up is Frank Chance, little ground ball to short, and that's 2. Johnny Kling now gets a base hit, and as Jimmy Sheckard, my apologies, comes up, promptly steals second base, putting him in scoring position, albeit with 2 outs, and Sheckard promptly strikes out. And now we go to the bottom of the sixth inning, 2-0 Reds. John Gansel gets a little base hit there over shortstop, right over Heine Zimmerman. You wonder if Tinker were still out there, if they wouldn't have a chance on that. That brings up Pasker. We're not going to do a hit and run, not with the slow man on first base. We're just going to swing away, see what happens. And there's a ground ball to third. They get the force at second, but not enough for the double play. On comes John Kane now. It's a little ground ball again to third base. This time they go to first with it. 2 outs now with a runner on second base. And strikeout for Mitchell. And on we go now to the top of the seventh inning. Again, this is a really, really fast-paced game. I tell you, a little ground ball to second for Steinfelder's the first out. NPIII is great for this. If you like to play games quickly, man, this is the game for you. Wildflower Schultz comes out, strikes out, and that is the 4th strikeout of the game for Bob Ewing so far, against 2 walks. Jimmy Slagle now, and he gets some power, gets into one, gets his 66, and it turns out to be nothing more than a single. And here comes overall, 2 outs, and no real ability to do much here, other than hit a single to right center, send Slagle to third, and then steal second base after 2 strikes for Ronnie Evers. Johnny Evers, who's already struck out a couple of times today, and he strikes out once again. How about that? Bottom of the 7th inning now, Rudy Hulswood is up for the Cincinnati Reds. Time running out for the Cubs. Hulswood gets a little ground ball, perhaps, to, it's a little ground ball to shortstop after that adjustment. And he winds up being the runner on first base. And Schley is going to bunt again, hoping to get a runner in scoring position, and it works. They get him over to second. Here comes Bob Ewing. Ewing also is going to bunt. This is the way that we do it. He bunts Hulswood over to third base for Hans Lobert. 2 outs, runner on third. They're going to pitch to Lobert. Lobert promptly gets a base hit and a stolen base as Miller Huggins comes up. 3-0 Reds. Huggins strikes out, and that is the end for him. Heine Zimmerman now, first batter up, top of the 8th inning. 3-0 Reds, and this has been all Cincinnati today. Zimmerman promptly hits a base hit. Frank Chance now the next batter up. We're going to hit and run with Chance and see if we can't make something happen. Chance gets a hit and run ground ball to short, so that does something, but not all that much. Johnny Kling up now with 1 away. And Kling, is he going to go deep? Kling hits a triple to right center field. 3-1 now, Reds. Top of the 8th inning. 1 out. Johnny Kling on third base. Jimmy Sheckard coming up, always dangerous. We're going to swing away with Sheckard, and I think Cincinnati's just going to go ahead and pitch to him because you don't want to put that tying run on base. Sheckard is going to roll a 12, which is had to sort of look at this one. It's a fly ball over to Mitchell in right field, and he makes the play at the plate, throwing out Sheckard, who was coming down with the second run. And the Reds are out of the inning, 3-1 Cincinnati going into the bottom of the 8th inning. And Gansel promptly singles to center field, and that brings up Dode Paskard. And we're going to swing away, I think, with Dode. This is what we did last time he was up. And he hits a little fielder's choice, getting the runner out at second. And now with one out, it's John Kane. And John Kane, in contrast, we are going to bunt with him. The bunt is successful. It goes to overall and moves Paskard to second base. Now with 2 outs comes Mitchell. Mitchell strikes out. And we go to the top of the 9th inning. Here is the exciting part of the game. Harry Steinfeld to lead it off for the Chicago Cubs. He gets on base with an error, and that brings up Wildfire Schultz. And I go and take a quick look here down the bench, sort of see what options we have if we wanted to put somebody in. I'm thinking that we put Del Howard in now. He can play center or play right field. He's got a little bit better chance of actually hitting the ball. Steinfeld is fast. We're going to hit and run as opposed to bunting. We need 2 base runners, not just 1, but we definitely need to stay out of the double play, right? So we're going to try this with Howard. And it works. Howard gets a base hit and ends up moving Steinfeld to third. And that means that with nobody out, we have Jimmy Slagle up now with runners in first and third. And we've got something cooking. Even with a double play, it puts you in a pretty good position. But I'm going to, once again, put this hit and run on and just sort of cross my fingers and see what happens. And Slagle gets a base hit to right. 1 runner scores. Other runner goes to third base. 3-2 now. 3-2 now. Reds, excuse me. And Bob Ewing looks like he may be out of gas, but we're going to leave him in. However, as far as the Cubs are concerned, we are going to go for a pinch hitter because they need that third run. It looks like, let's see. It looks like we're going to go with Solly Hoffman. Solly Hoffman now is going to be the pinch hitter for the pitcher. And this time we are not putting the hit and run on because a double play ground ball scores the run from third. The infield is going to be in this time because this run at third base is very, very important. And the rule is a 13, which is a base on balls. That loads the bases, and that brings up Johnny Evers. And we are going to now go for a pinch hitter, or for a relief pitcher. Bill Tozer is going to be the pitcher. Bill Tozer, who had only 4 appearances in real life. Bill Tozer is the new pitcher for Cincinnati. Infield comes in. Evers is going to swing away because the important run is that runner on second base. Nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. And Evers is going to get a base hit. He scores 2. The score now 4-3. Hoffman goes to third. Evers then promptly steals second base when Heine Zimmerman comes up there. And Heine Zimmerman now, and the question is, do we swing away with him? Do we bunt? I think we bunt with Zimmerman. Infield goes back in. Zimmerman gets the bunt down to third base. Lobert's only play is at first. That is 1 away. 5-3 now Cubs with big man Frank Chance coming up. Infield remains in. Chance hits a fly ball to right field, scoring another run. 5 runs in this inning for the Chicago Cubs. 6-3 Cubs. And boy, this has not been a good inning here for the Cincinnati Reds. Tozer not pitching very well at all as he walks Johnny Kling and walks Jimmy Sheckard. And here comes Harry Steinfeld. And Steinfeld has the ability to really break this game open if it comes to that. Little ground ball back to Tozer, the pitcher, and that does that. We're going to put Hoffman here in center field. And we'll have the pitcher come here in for Slagle, might as well. And we're going to make it, let's see here, Lundgren. Okay, we can't have two center fielders, so we do have Lundgren come in to pitch. That was a little bit adventurous, and now with the score 6-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning, here comes up the bottom of the Cincinnati order. Holswit walks. Lundgren has the W, and this is going to be an interesting end, isn't it? Man, they have nobody on the bench, do they? You do want to look with these early seasons sometimes at the pitchers because they might give you some options, but man, they got nobody on the bench. Okay, we're going to. What are we going to do? Holtzworth is slow, so we're not going to hit and run. We're not going to bunt with Admiral either. We're just going to swing away with him. And he rolls a 15, and that means that we have runners now on first and second, and the tying run is coming up to the plate. And there is going to be a pinch hitter this time around. Looking mostly at slugging percentages, and we're going to go with Larry McLean, who's the backup catcher. Man, we're going to swing away with him again because a bunt does absolutely nothing for us here in a 6-3 ball game after the surprising top of the ninth inning for the Cubs. McLean strikes out. So there's one away, but here comes Hans Lobert, who can always do a lot of damage. Hans Lobert only hitting .250 so far this season, and he hits a little fly ball to left field doing nothing, and up comes Miller Huggins, who is the last chance for Cincinnati today. And that is a ground ball to shortstop, and they get the force at second, and that is your ball game. Final score, Cubs 6, Reds 3. Well, I sure hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did, and if you did, please leave a like down below. Subscribe for more videos. We'll have one every day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.